This is the beginning of what I believe is one of the most satisfying climaxes in film history. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Connor, and I'm just a regular guy with no formal experience trying to explain just why I love movies. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the ending to 1999's The Matrix. After rewatching this movie quite a few times, I have come to the personal conclusion that it's the audience's understanding of rules that helps make this ending so spectacular. For almost the entire movie, we have been piggybacking Thomas Anderson's story as he becomes Neo. Neo being the persona of the prophesized One. Obviously spoilers, but most of you probably already know the plot of The Matrix. But the One is mostly teased by the leader of our freedom fighter troop, named Morpheus. In trying to convince Mr. Anderson that he is the One, Morpheus has to explain how the Matrix has rules. And in order to beat the machines, Mr. Anderson will need to understand
that these rules are no different than the rules of a computer system. Some of them can be bent. Others can be broken.
Some of the rules described in the film can be bent, including ignoring gravity. These are abilities that kind of anyone awakened to the Matrix can master. But the One will be able to master a power so awesome that basically it'll render dodging bullets as just like a useless thing.
What are you trying to tell me? That I can dodge bullets?
When you're ready, you won't have to.
That's really what's great about how the Wachowskis handled Neo's character, is that they teased Neo's abilities and had us focusing on one aspect of what he could become, and in so doing led us to shutting our minds to just how powerful the One could be. For instance, when Neo starts dodging bullets on a skyscraper, or when he goes toe-to-toe literally with Agent Smith, we start going, okay, this guy's the real deal. He is the One. He's starting to unlock those abilities. Because previously we saw Morpheus, who was like the guy. He got his butt kicked by Agent Smith, and then dodging bullets just nobody could do. And Neo just whips it out of nowhere. Super cool. You have a main character who's really, really powerful, is prophesized as the One, and he's struggling. He fails a lot. And yet you're starting to see him grow in power. And you're like, as the viewer, you're like, holy crap, this guy's the One. He's doing all the things that everybody said he could do. He's bending the rules. He's figuring out, that there is no spoon, all that stuff. Just as the movie's ending, you're like, this is awesome. And then with one shot, and then multiple others, because Agent Smith has to make sure that Neo's actually down, the viewer is basically stopped in their tracks. And just like the crew of the Nebuchadnezzar were like dumbfounded, because Neo's supposed to be the One. And now he's just been shot like 30 times in the chest, and he's flatlining in real life. And so, I guess maybe, you're supposed to guess, oh, is he really the One? I don't think I would go that far. I don't think anyone was like, oh, this is going to be one of those like endings where like the bad guys win or anything. I think everybody is just like, okay, the good guys are going to win. But you have to sort of be wondering, how are they going to win? Because I feel like this scene perfectly shows just how overmatched the humans are. Because as Neo is fighting these agents, he, as the One, already showing that he has more power than anyone else thus far, has been beaten in the Matrix. And then outside of the Matrix, he's really just a guy. And he's surrounded by other just random, regular humans, and they themselves are powerless against the machines. But as we know, watching The Matrix, it has a couple tricks up its sleeves. So, Trinity cheers Neo back to life, which, you could say is either cringy or iconic, but she tells him about the prophecy and how she could only love the One, and she kisses him, and he shoots back up to life. And I feel like it's at this point that you're like, as the viewer, you're like, okay, there is no doubt he is the one. First off, within the story, Trinity has just told you he has to be the one or else the prophecy is wrong. And most of the time, you know, I feel like in these kinds of movies, you're never like, okay, the prophecy is wrong. You never question the prophecy. How dare you? And then on top of it, you get the iconic trumpets just sort of signifying, okay, something's about to go down. And as the music starts to swell, the agents fire bullet after bullet. They're amazed. They're like, how is this guy still alive? And they're shooting down this hallway. And Neo, with an outstretched hand, stops the bullets in their tracks. And I feel like effortless is the true power level of the One, as Neo looks around him to see not just a fictional world, but like the code upon which that world was written. The rules were no longer a figurative language, but a physical one that he could interact with. The best part about all this is that Neo seems to be just as amazed as everyone else. When he stops the bullets, he grabs one and just stares at it for a little bit, and he's like, huh, I can do this. And then when he's fighting Agent Smith, as he charges at him to try and knock him down again, Agent Smith's going like full force, and then he's like, hold on, I don't need to do this. And mid-fight, he puts his hand literally behind his back, and one arm fights him and wins with ease. And just like with that same look of just like, by the point that Neo deconstructs Agent Smith from the inside out, we're like, as the viewer, or at least me when I'm watching it, you're like, okay, this guy could save humanity. You just saw him take out an agent from the inside out. He didn't just shoot an agent dead. He obliterated the code upon which the agent is written. And I think that's where the genius of this scene, this moment, this movie, is that we had an idea of what the One could be, and we were wrong. There was some misdirection in there, but we didn't actually understand the true power of the One until it was revealed to us. So why do I think that this scene is so damn satisfying? I mean, you gotta mention the score, because it's so unbelievably iconic and amazing. The trumpets, the everything, the what do you want to call it? The choir in the background. It's all just amazing. But they also gave us a plausible superpowered man and had us believe that he was the One, right? Because he was doing the impossible. He was bending the rules. But then they one-upped our expectations, because they told us there are rules you can bend and there are rules you can break. But there are just some rules that that were never called into question, right? The one rule being, when you die in the Matrix, you die in the real world, right? Like Morpheus says something along the lines of,
The body cannot live without the mind.
so when you see APOC and Switch and all them get their like plugs pulled in real life, they die. And when somebody gets shot up in the Matrix, they die. So when you see Neo get shot up and literally flatline in real life, you're like, well, he's dead. This is a rule that can't be broken. So then when he comes to life again, you're like, well, this guy can't be stopped. But it feels awesome. It feels earned, because you weren't expecting that ability to come to fruition. But it also wasn't an ability that wasn't foreshadowed at all, right? If you think about it, when they talk about you dying in the Matrix, they do it a lot throughout the whole movie. They show you this can't happen, this can't happen. So they're sort of, in a way, setting up Neo's revival at the end, basically saying, okay, if he is the One, there is nothing that can stop him. And if you truly believe, as the viewer, that he is the One, then you shouldn't be rattled at all when he gets shot, because of course he's going to come back, because he is the One. And so with the final shot, of him shooting up into the sky, we really are left going, what else can this guy do? And that kind of wonder is what made me say that this movie has one of the most satisfying climaxes in film history. What do you think about the ending of The Matrix? Is it as satisfying as I'm talking about? I really think it is. And what do you guys think about this new format for this episode? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all for tuning in. Hope you all have a great week. So long.